Hello and welcome to another episode of NWR Retro. I'm Ryan and today I'm going to be looking at the NEOGEO Arcade Archives game Sengoku on the Nintendo Switch. And Sengoku comes from the early 90s, and if you remember, that's kind of the era of the brawler. So this game was released in 1991, and so that's some of its contemporaries include, Final Fight, the original Streets of Rage, and everyone was trying to get into this market. So yeah, and so we'll kind of see where Sengoku falls here. If you've read the NWR review that's already up, you probably have a pretty good idea of where it falls. But I kind of wanted to show the game off and talk through it a bit because it's an interesting game. It's definitely not perfect, but it's a game that I have a lot of fondness for. Alright, so pretty simple controls. This is a pretty simple game, but as you can see, there's some twists on the I guess brawler, beat 'em up, belt scroller genre. So the game essentially takes place in at I guess modern Japan. It's kind of like modern Japan, but post-apocalyptic in a way. But you travel from street level, kind of as we saw for like 2 seconds, and then you're suddenly sucked up into, I guess, the heavens, to fight some samurai. A word of note: I do have the difficulty set low, and I have basically infinite lives, just to make the video here go a little smoother, because as is the case with a lot of these games, they're kind of quarter munchers, and they can be pretty frustrating, and I would say definitely the actual fighting mechanics are not overall as solid, and just don't feel quite as good as Final Fight, and definitely not like Streets of Rage. Which I may have my years off a bit for Streets of Rage. I'm not sure if the first game came out in '91 or if it was a little bit later. But 91 was the same year that the SNES launched in North America, and one of the big games in those early days of the SNES was the port of Final Fight, and which is not a great port, but compared to what you could get on a console at that time, I would say Sengoku just visually is a lot more impressive, but it doesn't quite play as well, or sound sound quite as good. The soundtrack's not quite as memorable as Final Fight, and certainly not Streets of Rage, but it has this unique, man, I don't even know what this, now this kind of looks like the Golden Gate Bridge. It's like Fist of the North Star in Japan and I guess California. Like, your protagonist here is pretty California looking, I guess. Kinda looks like, I don't know, David Hasselhoff or something. So yeah, you can also change into different characters, which is kind of another cool, different, weird feature, but I'm kind of more into just playing as like your regular dude. I don't feel like there's a ton of difference when you're playing with the other characters. I mean, you can be a dog. He's got a pretty cool jumping attack, which is actually like really effective. I'm just gonna change back to my dude. Yeah, I like how much different stuff is going on in the backgrounds of this game. There's just a lot happening as far as the world goes. Worlds, I should say. And the scaling sprites coming in from the background is a nice touch as well. Apparently there was a Super Famicom port of this game, but I never played that. Now I'm riding on a bunch of ghost horses. Yeah, so the subway here, this is definitely very Japan, in both the way the subway cars look and the ground, the yellow strips in front of the tracks. You see that a lot in Japan, and even on the sidewalks and stuff. Apparently it's to help the elderly navigate. Yeah, it's a little jarring the way you get sucked up to the heavens. You get kind of raptured, I guess. 'Cause it just happens like really suddenly. Boutique Athena. It's I assume a reference to the SNK character Athena, who appeared in Psycho Soldier and her own really bad NES game, and also the King of Fighters series. Yeah, this game actually was, Sengoku was developed by SNK themselves. This is not one of the third-party or second-party studios that worked with them. And this is the first in a series of 3 games, which get progressively better as the series goes on. I hope we end up getting all of them on Switch, because I think the first Sengoku, like, I like this game. I know it's not a great brawler. It's a pretty average brawler, but I think it's so unique and interesting. And I like all that's going on with the world and the backgrounds and everything. So so I like this game, but the games actually do get better, like as far as how they play and how they're balanced, how they the controls and mechanics and stuff. They get better as the series goes on. So I do hope we get all of those on the Switch Virtual Console. And, as with all of these SNK arcade archives, you have your online leaderboards if you do the high score mode, which is great. I have tried it a little bit with this game, and I cannot seem to make it onto the leaderboards. There's some apparently really good Sengoku players out there. But you can also play this co-op. You can play this 2 players. So this is, you know, one of my favorite things about these SNK arcade archives are just the ease that you can play them co-op, and you know, all you got to do is put that put your Switch into kickstand mode, tabletop mode, and then you can just pop those Joy-Cons off. And as you can see, you don't need a ton of buttons, so you're just using 3 face buttons to play the game. So it makes it really easy to just pop those Joy-Con off and start playing co-op. And you know, brawlers, these types of games are always better with 2 people, and especially since you can, you know, set all of your all of the difficulty stuff. You can have like infinite continues and you know, 99 lives per continue, and you can set the difficulty down to easy. You know, it makes it a really good, just chill kind of playthrough game. If you're just hanging out with a friend, having a soda or a milkshake, and playing some Sengoku. See, there's just, like, I know this isn't a good game, but there's just so much crazy creative stuff in here, like the enemy designs, the backgrounds. Like, it's so hard to hate this game for me. I think this is like one of those games that's just kind of cool to show people. I remember, you know, back in the, I don't know, late 90s, early 2000s, I'd never actually seen this game in the arcade, or this series, and I remember meeting someone. I worked at a video game store, so I met a lot of, you know, a lot of hardcore people into like weird games and stuff, and yeah, I met someone with a NEOGEO CD, and like the first game they showed me on that system was one of the Sengoku games. I think it was maybe Sengoku 2, but I was like, oh my god, where's this been all my life? So it was cool, like, as I'm trying to remember where I first, like, actually got a copy of this game for myself, because I've still, like, never seen it in arcades. It's usually not on NeoGeo arcade machines. It was either, like, Wii Virtual Console or the SNK Arcade Archives on Wii. I don't remember exactly where I got it first, but I was very happy whenever that was, in like the late 2000, 2000, I don't know, 10 maybe? It was probably at least 5 years ago when all that stuff was dropping. But yeah, I was very happy to finally have a copy of this game for myself. And now it's even better because I have it on my Switch. It means I can play it anywhere. Change to switch things up a bit. I like how the ninja like moves in like flips. Yeah, this game definitely has really good enemy variety for a brawler. Like, you know, you see a lot of the same enemies over and over again as you do with every brawler, but they do, like, every stage I feel like they introduce like one or two more enemy types, which is cool. You know, in a lot of those early brawlers, you just have like recolored and renamed versions of the same few thugs. Just different color mohawks and different color leather jackets. We got, I guess it should be noted as well that there's a lot of voice samples in the game, which are pretty cool in Japanese. And, you know, this is back when you couldn't really take stuff like that for granted. Not a lot of games had like full voice, as in like sentences, at the time. But, another nice touch, the rain effect here. pretty nice. This is it's a pretty simple fight. So yeah, this kind of continues for a few more stages. I'm kind of running out of things to say about the game, so I think I am going to wrap up the video here. But yeah, this is Sengoku on the Nintendo Switch, originally a NEOGEO game. Developed and published by SNK. It is the first game in the series, and the series gets a lot better as we kind of go on. So, yeah. As for myself, I'm Ryan. You can find me on Twitter at BrawnDwarf, BraWNDWARF. I also have a Nintendo podcast, and I also record a lot more Nintendo videos, and that is you can find all that over at NintendoFunClubPodcast.com. As always, make sure you are tuning in to NWR. There's a ton of videos and commentary and previews from E3 that I personally am still kind of sifting through. So lots of good stuff there. So make sure you head over to NintendoWorldReport.com for all of that. So thank you for tuning in, and I will catch you next time. Goodbye.